Good afternoon. We are here together. I'm like in my car. So this is like really showing that you can do anything at any time as long as you have the will to do it. I'm in the car and we actually know each other from like years ago when I was like so small, like a little kid. So it's so cute to reconnect and it's so great to hear your laugh because it's like the same and it makes my heart happy.
Thank you, Juliane.
I love your laugh. So tell me a little bit about your journey. We're talking about how you got with the seed program, how you're figuring out what you wanted to do, just so anyone that's new to your work, seeing the journey that you've been on leading up to here and your passion.
Sure. So my name is Fralick. So in 2010, June, I graduated from NSCC Lunenburg campus with medical office assistant diploma. From there, I worked at a physiotherapy, chiro, a personal trainer and chiropractor place here in Burnside, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, for almost 5 years, and then worked Sun Life and Manulife doing paperwork. So I did enjoy the medical aspect, but I decided instead of being a receptionist, I wanted to now be a practitioner. Through my work at the physiotherapy place, I saw how a group of practitioners working together really can help, not only can really help the client via teamwork. So I decided in February of 2018. I had the opportunity with the Atlantic School of Reflexology in Fredericton. She was down here visiting in Halifax. I was able to take the foot reflexology course for 4 days, followed by the face for 2 days. So, and then once I completed that, we had practicums to do for both, as well as exams. Once I completed that, I did the craniosacral reflexology in May of 2018, and then I completed my whole diploma in June of 2018 instead of a year usually. So,
Yes.
so I was quite busy for those few months.
Yes.
And then I applied for the SEED program here through Nova Scotia Education Department. So SEED is a Center for Entrepreneurship Education and Development. It's located in Bears Road in Halifax. So it's a 40-week program if you qualify for it. In order to qualify for it, you have to be either on EI, which at that time I was. So either on EI at the time, on EI in the last 5 years, or doing a job that is less than 20 hours a week or 20 hours a week, but not in the career that you want to do. In order for me also to qualify for SEED, I had to be ready to open my practice. So I couldn't be just thinking of taking reflexology. I had to prove that I had my courses all completed, that I was able financially to support myself some. And then through that program, I did qualify luckily, and I started October of 2018 with SEED for the 40-week program in Halifax, where there were some courses I took, such as marketing, such as financials. We had to do a whole business plan each week. That was quite a few weeks of that. Exploring your customers. It was trying to prepare you for business. So from October to December, sometimes I went 2 to 3 days a week, sometimes 4, over to Halifax, sometimes full days, sometimes half days to take courses, to learn through the different people that they had at the course, at the program. In March of 2019, this year, I took Reiki level 1 and 2 through Caitlin Beaver here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And I also became incorporated. My business became incorporated.
Nice.
So the name I chose for my business, which I had decided back in October, and I did not tell anyone because I was a little afraid that someone else might take it, because you have to register.
Yes, I do that too. I'm like, don't say it out loud.
I didn't tell anyone my name until I was registered. My business name is Pathway To Relaxation Incorporated.
Oh, see, that already is just like, oh, like the ease and the sound of that sounds great. Great business name.
Because I had hoped, in the beginning, I had hoped when I first started SEED that I would be able to go and open a clinic where I would have like a salts room, acupuncture, an osteopath, as well as myself. I could be doing some front desk, as well as having another person for front desk, because I'm trained, as well as reflexology. Right now, I'm starting off small, but that is my hope. So that's why I chose Pathway to Relaxation, so I could have open up and have different practitioners with me, hopefully in the future.
Awesome. So for someone that's new to like this whole relaxation thing, what's a way that you would kind of guide them and direct them to start?
Sure. I guess for me, I've always had a hard time. I've always been like very hyper. I'm sure, Julianne, you know. So to me, it's always been hard for me to relax, to de-stress. Always been a little bit of a worrier sometimes. So I was lucky enough. I had some acupuncture done as well as reflexology at the Canadian College of Acupuncture out in Bedford, Nova Scotia, which is where I first actually heard about reflexology. And was lucky enough then from there someone had advised me to, like about this reflexology courses that was coming here, so I took the courses. So I found through reflexology, especially when I'm doing face reflexology on someone else, it actually helps to relax me as well. It's a very, because it's a very calming, relaxing routine that I'm doing on someone else. So I'll explain a little bit about what reflexology
Yeah.
is. So, reflexology is the idea the map of the body can be found on the foot, face, hands, ears, and scalp. That's the most common areas. So, for the foot, give me 2 seconds. So, for the foot, I do have a little map here. I'll just show it to you. So, the idea is that the foot, so along the side of your foot, by your big toe is your spine, and your big toe then is your head. So I'm trained in craniosacral as well. So instead of craniosacral, me focusing on the neck, I'm focusing on the torso area of my body as well as the big toe for craniosacral reflexology. So
Okay.
I mix a little bit of the foot and reflex and craniosacral together. So I'm known sort of here in Halifax as lady who tugs on toes.
I feel like that's like
Because
from like Pleasures and Treasures or something.
I always say to everyone who's coming for foot reflexology, if you're coming just for a light little massage, that's not me. I'm there to focus on helping to relieve any tension, any conditions, any symptoms you may have. Because with reflexology, specifically the foot I'll talk about first, I use my thumb mostly, sometimes my fingers, my hand, once in a while a tool to try to work out the issues you have. And you can feel the tender issues, the tender points. And if you have a crunchy point, that means you have calcification buildup in your body. So I'm trying to work on those, trying to focus on those, or trying to relieve some tension and pressure. And it's always believed that every year that you have, it takes 1 month for every year that a condition has existed in order to try to help.
Wow.
So for foot reflexology, a lot of people say afterwards they have a lot of energy. And it really helps with spine issues, whiplash, especially with the craniosacral involved as well, shoulder issues, neck issues, plantar fasciitis. I always have everyone who comes in to do reflexology, I always tell them, do not tell me if you're right-handed or left-handed, because under your pinky toe is where your shoulder area is. And I can usually tell by when I'm going to work that area just by touching it, by moving a little bit as to which one's tighter, means that that's more of your dominant hand. And for reflexology, anyone of any age, any race, any gender can have reflexology. One of the main questions that anyone that I always ask is for reflexology, if someone has a blood clot or an aneurysm, you're not able to treat them. So it's one of the first questions I ask anyone if they contact me, anything, just because I want to make sure, you know, that they're having the proper care.
Yes.
And also if someone's in the first trimester of pregnancy, it's recommended not to have reflexology during that time.
Mm-hmm. So do you also do the hand reflexology too, or is that like a separate training?
I do. So I do like I mix. So I do a little bit of I do foot sometimes by itself, sometimes foot and craniosacral by together. I also do face. So face is more relaxing. It's great. It's very calming. So a lot of people when they leave face feel very mellow, feel very like they could sleep right afterwards. It's great for anxiety, depression, to really relieve stress. I actually even do it, believe it or not, on my cat. For face, I do like around your eyes is your kidneys. So I do his kidneys, his liver area, his spleen, and I don't do his digestive area around his mouth because I'm afraid he might bite me. He is a cat. But I also do like around his ears, and around your ears is your spine. So it's very calming for him. I actually do it sometimes 2 times a day for face.
Oh, cool.
And for hand, I focused on the hand, which I took July of 2019 in Fredericton with the Electric School of Reflexology. I focus on carpal tunnel syndrome as well as rheumatoid arthritis in the hand.
Okay. My sister just found out that she has like 20 some kidney stones in one kidney.
Wow.
And I don't know how long they've been there, and it's super inflamed, and they've been doing x-rays, and she has to like pee in this jug, and they have all this stuff that they need to do to like figure out what's going on because she's so young to like have that many. So I was like, well, you should probably stop eating processed meat, like salty things, and like check with like how much like milk products with calcium you've been ingesting. But I'm like, maybe the reflexology with the kidney would be a good one for her.
Yeah, and like on the side, on the foot too, like along your spine on the side is your bladder. So it
Okay.
helps with bladder. It helps. So for your foot, you can focus your bladder, your kidney, and I found even my a little bit of a difference for me, for my kidney and
Okay.
my bladder. Like I found it was helping to relieve some of the tension I had.
Yes, and I actually know someone from here. She did her training at the same place for the hand reflexology, and I went to her because I was like, I never had hand reflexology before. I'd love to try it. So we did a trade, and she actually felt like a something where my small intestine is. So I went and had tests done, and I actually had H. pylori like in my intestine and stomach, and I was just like, wow, like she knew there was something going on just from touching that part of my hand.
Well, I treated someone the other day who I was working on her area, which is above your pinky toe. And that whole area, like going down, is your hip area. And I was touching her and I was like, this is tender. And she's like, yeah. She said, when I'm stretching, doing exercising, she said, it feels like I have a tingling sensation. And she goes, it doesn't hurt at all. And when I was touching that area, she could actually feel the tingling sensation in her hip area going down to her
Whoa.
knee. So that I thought was really interesting just to see that connection because I didn't know, she didn't tell me in advance. I said, is anything new with you? And she's like, no, no, no. And we were talking and then all of a sudden she's like, oh yeah. And it was just as I was touching that, she's like, oh yeah, that was, she goes, what area is that? And I was like, your hip. She's like, that's been super sore. How did you know like the last week? So I thought that was interesting
Fascinating.
as well. And during my practicum, I had a client, I was lucky enough to have a client who had plantar fasciitis. And she hadn't run probably for a year because she was in so much pain when she was running. And so during my practicum for my foot, I did 10 treatments for 6 people each. So she was one of my lucky people to have. And by the fourth time, she was like, when I came like for the fourth appointment, she's like, guess what I did yesterday? And I was like, what? And she's like, I went for a
Oh,
run. And I'm like, what? And she's like, this is the first time I've been able to do this. She said, because I'm seeing such an improvement because I was really like focusing, I was doing the whole routine, but then I would focus at the end just on the certain areas that you have for plantar fasciitis. And then I had another gentleman who came in and he had seen chiro, physio, acupuncture, and he had a whiplash 2 years ago to the point of he had very limited movement in his neck on his left side. And he came in and he's like, I'll try reflexology. I've had it before. And in another province. And I was there and I was like moving around his toe and I focused probably on his big toe, probably for about 10 minutes, like moving around a little bit, like trying to lift it up a little bit because I could feel there's quite a bit of tension, like not much mobility at all. And then all of a sudden I just gave a huge pop. And he was like, what did you do? And I was like, I've been trying to relieve the tension. I could feel it was like tight. It was just a blockage. And he's like, I feel like there's so much blood flow going in my neck area.
oh, I could cry. That's so good.
And then he was like, I can move my neck. And he's come back to me on a regular basis because he's like, I don't know what you did. He said, but I just feel like there's so much movement. Like he said, I know it was so stiff before. And we don't realize how much stress we're holding in our shoulders, especially
Yes.
the younger generation who's using the cell phone. You're always down like this.
Yeah.
There's so much of our stress on our shoulders.
Wow. And the way you have Reiki and everything, you can just combine so much just from that touch and being with someone like that.
Yes, and I've done some combinations of Reiki with facial reflexology because it went really well together. And I also have a friend here who does Embody, her studio is Embody for yoga, Leslie Seto, and she invited me one night to one of her studios, one of her sessions, and she did yoga. And while she did that, we had people there that was having yoga, and she asked if I could go and do reflexology on them, and I did a little mini facial reflexology on them just to get the rejuvenation going, the muscles going, the flow going. And it was just a unique experience because I don't think anyone's ever done yoga and reflexology together before.
Oh, that is so
So I'm
cool. I
trying to
just
do more of a combination to work with different practitioners to see what different options we have out there.
That's one of my favorite things to do is to partner with other practitioners. Like yoga massage is like yin yoga and massage. And like
Yeah.
that's amazing combo. Or last night I did a workshop and it was like paired with someone who teaches heart math and like ways of resilience. And then I did the yoga, meditation, and Reiki part. And I love that, like just pairing up with someone else and being able to offer these modalities at one time is so amazing.
And I've been lucky enough, like through the SEED program, I've met a few ladies, particularly it just happened to be ladies, like Leslie Seto, she does nutrition, she does dietitian as well as yoga. Nadine Hubley, she does reflexology and fitness. So just different ones I've met up with, and we still do networking together. And actually, Nadine Hubley and I, she owns Tight Lines Wellness Professionals. We're going to be, right now we're on our finishing stages. We're going to be doing unique self-care wellness events.
Ooh.
So the idea is the same idea as what we had, like Tupperware parties. Instead of Tupperware parties, we'd be going and there'll be a host, and then there'll be hopefully 8 people invited where we could do reflexology for 20 minutes for $20. People would be informed of it before. Is do a little session beforehand of what reflexology is, and Reiki, and then doing reflexology sessions. They're giving little mini sessions so people can experience it. To have sort of like an event together, just because, you know, a lot of people want to have a get together. What type of get together can you have, right? Like, so that was something different.
Well, and I love that because that's like a different way of doing like a bachelorette party or something like that. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where can people find you and your work?
Sure. So like I say, my business is Pathway to Relaxation. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as LinkedIn under Pathway to Relaxation. And I also have a webpage of www.pathwaytorelaxation.com. My email is pathwaytorelaxation.com. I kept everything very simple. I was lucky enough.
Perfect.
Or if you have any questions, they can also text me at 902 or call at 902-222-5030. And right now I am at a clinic over in Halifax, Bloom Laser Clinic, as well as here in Dartmouth. I'm at Unity Hair and Aesthetics on Queen Street. And right now I'm actually doing more mobile. I'm going to people's homes, which is something a lot of people are like, oh, you go to people's homes. I have a portable massage table. So as long as I know you, or if I meet you beforehand at a networking event, because I do quite a few networking events. And, you know, if the option is I can go to the home, I will go to the home as well, if that's what they want.
I feel like seniors would love that.
Yeah, that's what my hope is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to find right now my place as to where I want to be, but I'm definitely, like, all summer I did home visits, which was great.
Yeah, I think that would be so great. Like, just because they get that like connection to talk with you, and like they like getting their nails done. So that's just like a different experience of like being touched, getting healing, and just in a safe place with someone they trust.
Yes, and especially like to me, especially like when someone's having face reflexology, because afterwards they are very relaxed. They're very basically to the point of some people are like, do I have to drive home? Because
Yeah.
it's mellowed them out so much. So at least then, you know, if I'm at the home, I can be like, no, you can just relax, you know, no worries. You know, I'm going to leave in a few minutes, so they don't have to have the actual stress onto them of thinking, okay, now I'm so relaxed and I got to go back out in traffic and maybe be all stressed again.
Yes.
And what I'm doing right now is I'm offering, just because I'm starting out, I'm trying to bring awareness of what reflexology is. Because reflexology, I know, is more known in Fredericton and New Brunswick particularly than here it is in Nova Scotia.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately in Nova Scotia, most people have to pay out of pocket for insurance unless you have flex benefits or extended health care. So if you don't have one of those, you're paying out of pocket. So that's why I'm trying to bring awareness of what reflexology is to everyone here in Nova Scotia, as well as everyone, you know, anyone that wants to learn what reflexology is. So I'm doing 30 minutes for $30. It's tax included. And I just want to say that I did join as well, which has been a great help to me because it has a lot of resources online for me. I joined the Reflexology Association of Canada last October. So it's a world-known association where I have to do continuing education credits in order to keep myself up to date with reflexology. And they've been a great support for me. And I was lucky enough actually to go to the conference we had here in Halifax in April this year. And I took finger-free course through David White, who's here visiting from London, Europe. And it helped, the finger-free helped me to learn different techniques. So instead of using so much pressure on my thumbs, instead of using some of my knuckles,
Yeah.
it was a great tool, which I've been able to use, especially when I'm doing foot reflexology.
That's so interesting because I often thought that. I was like, that's so much work for your thumb and your hands.
For the most one that is your foot, because your face is a lighter touch, obviously, because
Okay.
so that's why I say with the face, a lot of times I feel very relaxed as well. The hand is also more, you're focusing, but you're not using so much pressure as you're moving more. You're trying to open up the areas around the wrist, around the fingers. So you're doing more molding. So it's not as much pressure with your thumb, which is where most reflexologists end up hurting themselves, which is where, especially in the foot reflexology. So that's why I went to the finger free instead. Sometimes I can use my knuckles instead in here, or using different fingers instead, depending on what technique you're using and what area of the foot you're doing.
Awesome. How did you get introduced to like this different way of living and healing? Like, did you have health stuff going on?
I did have some health conditions going on. So it's gonna be in June of 2017. I actually went and found out that I have endometriosis. I actually have stage 4 endometriosis. And due to where the cysts were located, it was putting a lot of pressure onto my right kidney. So
Okay.
due to that, I actually went to the college, the Chinese Acupuncture College in Bedford, to have acupuncture on a regular basis, just to try to balance out my liver and my kidney, because my right kidney was having a lot of the pressure, so I was having a lot of control issues with it as far as pain. And then I did have surgery in November of 2017 to help with the endometriosis, to help the pain management. And then I say from there, I was lucky enough, I kept going with acupuncture, which I absolutely love, and it's very common for me. And then from there, I was able to take the courses in February of 2018 for reflexology.
Okay. Amazing. Any final words of wisdom or tips that you'd like to share with people?
I guess I just want to say, like, to me, my whole goal for Pathway to Relaxation, my logo actually, is an invitation to reduce stress. Because with reflexology, you put your body into a deep state of relaxation to help your body relax. So whether it's foot, whether it's face, hand, but the idea is to help your body relax so that you're able to bring your body back into balance. And also just to realize that when you do have your body out of balance with reflexology, you're going to have a toxin release, which is a normal symptom because your body's trying to bring itself back into balance. Such
Makes
as
sense.
like maybe more frequent urination, or you might have a lot of more energy, less energy for the first few days after your treatment. Sleep cycles might change, but it's just your body trying to bring itself back into balance.
Amazing.
So I definitely enjoy doing reflexology, and I'm hoping that I can be able to treat more people and with this.
I can feel your passion, excitement about it, and I feel like that's what attracts people. So I can see you having a very successful business doing this.
Thank you very much, Juliane.
Yeah, I see it. I'm a psychic, so I'm like,
And
that's part of your reading. You're gonna do it.
I even enjoy training. I even enjoy training my cat just for the face. I think he's 13. It's probably helping him out some.
It probably is.
And he looks for it. Like when I'll pick him up in the morning and do it, and he just looks and he just sort of lays and goes, okay, it's my time to have a little bit of me time.
Where's my mom? Touch my face. Like,
do it morning and night and steam, yeah. So
I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show with me today and speaking with me, and your generosity and heart. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad. So check out Pathway to Relaxation, 902-222-5030. And I guess I'm known as liking to play with toes because I do enjoy the tugging of the toes to see how much more tension can be in that area relieved.
Yeah, that's a great area. The neck area is just like, oh.
The neck spine area. A lot of people don't even realize. And around like your ankle bone on your pinky, right, on your pinky foot and your ankle bone is actually where your lower back is. And I'll touch people there and they'll be like, I have no back pain. And then they're like, what are you touching? It's so severe. And they're like, you're so hard. I'm like, I'm just touching it. But you don't realize how much the whole neck, your whole neck radiates the whole way down your back to your legs. You just don't realize it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.